can I help? What's new?
Yes, choose what you need. Of course, welcome.
Hell. I've got a few more. What? You don't see that? Bye for now.
Yes.
Time to change plans.
yes? Gold is useless to me. Go. What is it? Choose what you need. Indeed.
fighters jumping off, see those inmates out immediately. And that's probably what he was thinking, like, let me open the door, we get a little activity, maybe get moved to a better lockdown unit, I don't know. Maybe he's about to get a cell, maybe he didn't want. He's in a high-level security block. I don't know the situation, but one thing for sure, he did his mattress on fire. And that puppy was smoking like a Chattanooga train set. Keep in mind, it was around 1 a.m. on Sunday. And when Correctional Officer West was notified, she allowed the food tray slot to be opened in an attempt to let the smoke clear. Shows that she's worried about him a little bit, right? We need to air that thing out. And you know who else should be caring about this situation even more than her? The LT, the lieutenant, right? Think again. It says that when she told Lieutenant William Romero, she was then ordered to shut it and allow the inmate to be smoked out. Romero also said he started a fire to deal with that right there. Number 2, easily avoidable death. He just popped the cell door, got him out of there, put him in a green suit, butt naked in a dry cell for a month. Maybe he learned his lesson like that, but no. He'd rather him sitting there and both smoking until he's dead. Pretty much, because anybody, especially an LT, knows exactly what happens when smoke is pumping in a cell. Homeboy should get life in for him. I don't care what the situation is. But the correctional officer did as she was ordered and closed the food tray. And that right there, ladies and gentlemen, would have caused me to lose my job. Because I wouldn't have closed that. I would have actually opened up the cell door. Fire me, bro. I don't care. I'm not going to let this dude die. Unfortunately, though, that's like I said, closed the food tray. And the 2:30 a.m. So that means that mattress been burning in this cell for an hour and a half. And look, the mattresses were covered with like pads and whatever the hell they're, filled with. I see them burning it. I'm like a damn oil rig. Pure black pressure stuff.
And now they killed the guy.
Until 2:30 a.m. when she was called back, smelled more smoke filled records.
They set his cell on fire.
The prisons I've seen, if there's a fire in your cell, man, they're calling the field squad, LT, major, everyone. The board might even pop up and find out who's going to be sent into the hole for the next 20 years. Like I said, West allowed the food tray slot to remain open this time, but the smoke continued to build and West refused the inmates please to let him out. So at that time, he was still alive. Could have got him out. The site was in contact with the lieutenant, who said, let some of the smoke clear, then close the tray slot. The smoke continued to get worse, and at approximately 2:57 a.m., just a little over 10 minutes after the inmate was begging to be released from the cell, the inmate was then unresponsive. The smoke was so thick, security staff could not see inside the cell. The cell door was not open for another 21 minutes when the inmate was found laying on the cell floor and not breathing. Romero did not notify his chain of command until that point. And his chain of command, like I said, would probably be the major, or maybe it's captain, and it goes to major, I can't remember anything like the war. But the LT sees it with the sergeant, corporals, and the regular CO, and all that. Huge amount of power. I hit one report in the situation where he was completely responsible. It continues up at 3:32 a.m. Howard County Fire Rescue was sent to prison for some of their chest pain, according to the scheduled death report filed with the General Law. Be careful on correctional officers. This way you got a lot of being charged with death, but in many states about the death report. Just because it's a direct order.
This is my favorite map.
They continue saying that the inmate was pronounced dead at 4:09 a.m. During questioning, West admitted that she knew Romero's orders were unethical. She knew that the inmate did not survive the death of his son for himself. She also admitted that she knew the proper thing to do in the context of how to captain correct or make command decisions to remove the inmate from his cell. She was aware of her conduct was substantial and unjustifiable risk to the inmate's life. Such risk was a gross deviation from the standard of care that an ordinary person would exercise under all circumstances from her perspective, said the arrest report. West is charged with manslaughter. Romero is charged with criminal negligence homicide. Wow, she did get charged. I thought I read that she did. Maybe it was just a homicide part. That makes me feel a little bit better though, because just like she said, she did. The girl inmate went there living in herself with all that smoke. She did let him out. A tough decision. Unfortunately, she made the wrong one. But that's about the bulk of it. And we love to see correctional staff being held accountable for their misconduct. And of course, my condolences go out to this inmate's family and friends. I don't know nothing about him or his past crime. But what's right is right. If a cell's on fire, they need to be taken out. Whether they started it or not, doesn't matter. They could be having mental issues. But moving right along with the next story, we're going to be traveling down to North Carolina. It says the State Bureau of Investigations is leading the investigation after a Green Correctional Institution inmate died on Sunday, October 5th. Wilbur Baldwin, 41, was charged with murder on October 5th, deputies responded to the Marty prison in reference to a fatal assault on an inmate. The sheriff's office said that Wilbur was located unresponsive in his dormitory. Ladies and gentlemen, break that down really quick. There's two types of living in prison for the most part. You got cell living, which is for like higher level offenders, and you're usually housed with one other cellmate. But in a dorm, it's like a big hangar with no walls, just filled and lined with bunks. Suddenly, everybody in that dorm, which is probably over 100 people, watched that 60-year-old man get beat to death. And guess what? Hey, nobody did nothing to stop it. A lot of people probably thought it was just going to be a normal fight, but you know, when you're 6, especially getting into it with a young buck, man, that skull becomes real fragile. They continue saying that staff attempted life-saving measures. He was pronounced dead at 7:22 a.m. Greene County deputies secured the scene, and the sheriff contacted the State Bureau of Investigation. Interviews and physical evidence led to a warrant being drawn for Baldwin's arrest. Baldwin was released back to the DAC staff to finish the remainder of his sentence, which records indicate is projected to end April 24, 2026. Man, oh man, dude was about to go home. And now he's got to face a murder charge, man. If I were to guess, homeboy probably didn't need to do it. Probably sitting in that cell sick right now, but maybe he did. Because I forgot to mention that Mr. Nick was 60 years old. Was convicted of statutory rape in 2011 for his conviction in Mecklenburg County. So like I said, maybe it was accidental or maybe it wasn't. Maybe he wanted to take that guy's life because of his past crimes. I don't know. But still, even with knowing what time he had in the past, if I were to bet it all, that didn't make me feel. Like I said, he's getting out in 2026. This is North Carolina, where the politics ain't that strong. It wasn't probably a planned hit like in the United States. But maybe it was. I don't know. I'm just guessing. Either way, it doesn't matter. Look, 60 years old or not, you can get beat to death at any given time in prison. Alright, moving right along, you're going to have to pump up your rap for this one because we're traveling across that long pond all the way to the UK. It says legal release shows 2 UK prisoners breaking under giant smile on the floor. They viciously beat 50 sentences to death in the cell. Footage shows the Sheriff Smith, 19, and a fellow prisoner, Ron, 21, creeping down a hallway of His Majesty's prison. All say way in Lost Shire. Oh, man, I know I butchered that one. I don't know how to pronounce half these Shire County names, man. Shaw, shit, however you want to say it, man. All I know is Frodo Bag. And he grew up in the Shire, man. It's all the same. But it says these 2 inmates were creeping down a hallway of His Majesty's prison, flashing smiles as they creeped towards a Cuba Moran's cell. Man, oh man, homeboy, what was coming his way. They emerged only 37 seconds later, with the warden soon finding the inmate beaten unconscious inside. And the inmate, the sex offender who lost his life, was only serving a 35-week sentence. That dude probably thought for sure he was going to get out alive. It said that the inmate had asked to be released from the new cell shortly before the attack, so if I would guess he knew it was not, my horse would be asked to move right before I had. And another inmate said that they had been terrorizing this inmate for days. Smith, who was serving time for weapons charge at the time of the attack, was found guilty of murder on Thursday. Wow, he was sentenced to life in prison with a minimum of 17.5 years served. Robinson was cleared of murder but found guilty of manslaughter. He was sentenced to 11 years in prison. A third defendant, Sean Kieran, 38, was found not guilty of murder and manslaughter. There you have it, ladies and 3 individuals got hemmed up. One of them didn't have nothing to do with anything, but he still had to go through the court process. Even though he was found not guilty for manslaughter and killing the dude, it doesn't matter. He was probably going through a very serious situation. Knowing that he stuck there, man, and he didn't do nothing. But he killed him. There's 3 on the prison in the place. But the other 2 guys, man, if I were to guess, well, they probably didn't even feel that they didn't have their life home sentence. This is their prime example. You pick on someone enough, or you hit them enough, man, they'll probably eventually just die. You're going to be looking stupid in the court to be charged for all the damn right down the pipe. But that's a wrap, ladies and gentlemen. Hopefully you enjoyed these 3 stories today, and believe it or not, I had about 6 or 7 others. Seems like inmates are dropping like flies these days, man. The price of life behind bars is very cheap, if not free. And just keep this in mind, there's hardly, if I were to guess, anybody bringing these stories to your attention. You know, this is the reality of prison. Everybody needs to know what they're going to get yourself into. This channel gives you the most realistic and authentic views of prison, guaranteed. So if you're new to the channel and enjoy, you gotta hit that like, subscribe, notification button for the week. And as always, more importantly than anything, y'all be safe, stay free.
Andrew explained that he was following Jason on the day of the murder to ensure that Devin did not follow through with her plan to kill him.
That's not your phone.
Oh, I can make breakfast. I'm dumb as fuck. I'm sitting here hungry as hell. We're gonna have eggs and turkey and tortillas and shit. Oh my god, I'm a cook. What am I doing?
You're a smart guy. I think you know where we're going with this. And so if you want to give us answers, now's the time to give them to us. These investigations move fast. You know that. We get this data fast. You only get a couple opportunities to give us explanations for what's going on.
And you know, it doesn't fucking matter. Who's the only person that matters in terms of giving their side of the story? The jury. You know, when my clients testify, the only time I want their story to be heard is not in front of
I don't even have quality on this. Oh, I
Let's try to find the truth. So her and I
do.
were
Quality. There you go.
didn't necessarily think too much of it. I thought they were going to float around after we should go off. After she got into work, or on her way to work, she called me and told me that she had decided that was what she thought. She had told me she thought about it. He knows she wants to kill this guy. So much so to the extent that you go down to where his mail route is to keep an eye on him just in case she shows up. So you
Winter prevails.
B, S, and B, S, S, and S. Why don't you call the cops? You know, she's telling you she wants to kill him. Why don't you go to the cops? No woman is worth risking the rest of your life because she wants to fucking take care of her ex.
She tells you over the phone that she's done, she passed, and not going to do it, which you found odd. Or you still hung up the phone and just told him, hey, look out, into the office. So when I took her that morning, when I took her to the post office, that's when she told me that that was going to be dead. Yeah, she was never like so specific with that, and she said, Ariana, I said, what are you talking about? And she's had everything that we were.
Every single herald is that
She told me what
too.
she did, she would have told me what she needed, she would tell me any of that stuff. She was like the way that she was saying it, yeah, it was obvious that it has escalated to be an actual serious problem. And 3 years part of that is what she said. Okay. You didn't feel like it was serious enough to notify the police, say, hey, she's gonna kill this guy. Why didn't you tell us that's 2020, but I thought I could talk.
No, it's common sense. It's not 20 fucking 20. Give me a break.
I could talk her down. I talked her down prior to this. Like, I thought I could stop her if I saw her. I just needed to see her. Like, if we were face to face, she would have, she's depressed. She's had a lot of depression issues. She sees a therapist about it. But whenever we're face to face, she calms down. I thought if I saw her, I could calm her down and she would put a place and snap out of it. We were on the phone for 2 hours and 40 minutes while you were down there in the universe. What are you talking about during that time? I'm trying to talk her out. We're trying to talk her out of coming down to where you are and killing someone. But yes, it wasn't necessarily where I am. I guess that wasn't. She didn't know I was there. Like, I was trying to talk her out of it. But I had a feeling but she knew you weren't at your house because she stopped by at your house. So she didn't ask you where you were? What did you tell her when she asked you where you were? Didn't ask her where I lived. So what did you tell her? We're outside watching the house. You did think she was going to do it. You went down there to warn her. Right. You went down and not just
Okay, so
you went down there
freezing.
and you waited. If what you're telling me is true, if I'm supposed to believe what you're telling me is true, you're saying that you went all the way, you believed it so much.
So both of these explode.
In other words, do you think Miss Cobb believes it? No. Of course he does.
After you spent the night with her, to go down there and sit and follow a mail truck around for 2 or 3.
You realize you have fucked her for the last time. Oh wait, let's take it one step further. You realize you'll never have sex with a woman for the rest of your life. Maybe somebody might have sex with you, but it ain't gonna be a woman.
3 hours. That's how much you believed it. And you didn't tell anyone else. That's what I'm supposed to believe? So what I told you, there are people that said that even though you and Jason didn't have a lot of contact together, from their understanding, there's tension between you and Jason. Specifically because of the situation with Devin.
Now it's kind of making me want to sub.
You feel very personally that you specifically had it out for Jason. How and why? What's going on with him? What do I say? He was with the girl that you're with.
What can I? Oh, that's right.
She also cheated on me with 2 other guys. Were you scouting out that area before everything got? She already knew so. She already knew so. She was at his desk. That wasn't the most prior to that. That wasn't the most. No, it was not. Well, I thought. Why did you go down there to follow him around if you didn't think that's what she was going to do? She didn't tell me her plan. She knew that I wasn't going to be okay with it. That's not who I am. That's something you have to go down there and find him and warn him in person because you didn't know what she was looking to do originally. It's not going to work. You were just going to follow him for 3 hours like a stalker. That's how it works. There wasn't any intention of that. Because you didn't know that she was going to do that. So either you did take her seriously or you didn't take her seriously. It's one or the other. I told you I took her seriously enough that I stayed on the phone with her and tried to convince her that these are not good options. These are not good ideas and solutions to her problem. You're under arrest for standing up, take your hands behind your back. It's impossible. Yeah, that's out in the front lot. No, stand up for me. We'll figure out what we need to go as far as your, do you have a uniform shirt on underneath this? I took it off already. Alright, go ahead and face the sound right here.
So there are several types of homicide or murder cases. You can start at the very low end of manslaughter all the way up to murder. And what is murder one? How does that differentiate between any other type of murder? There's a premeditation. And hanging outside somebody's house until they get out or on their route. So when they come by, you can shoot them in the face 5 times in the ship history. That is premeditation. And you know, in premeditation can be a matter of moments. It doesn't have to be planned out. But this certainly seems like it's planned out.
Just like Devin, Andrew was arrested and charged with first-degree murder. He would eventually confess that he knew about the plan, and he assisted Devin in that plan, but his confession wouldn't change his charges.
Today, nearly 50 mail trucks honor a postal worker that was shot and killed in the Longmont neighborhood. These trucks drove around when Jason Schaefer had worked. Investigators believe that Jason was shot by his ex-girlfriend in a case of domestic violence. And we learned that she was recently fired from the Postal Service. Dylan Thomas joins us now from Fort Collins tonight. Dylan, neighbors tell you that police did swarm that suspect's apartment earlier today.
Yeah, I'm told this morning many officers swarmed the Fairmount apartment complex where the suspect in this murder, Devin Schreiner, once lived. Residents who wish not to go on camera told CBS 4 they watched as officers went through the apartment, through the trash, and even questioned neighbors at times to see if they knew anything about this case.
A 12-page arrest affidavit obtained by CBS4 gives us a clearer idea as to what led up to Wednesday's tragic murder of a postal worker. Police say the suspected shooter, Devin Schreiner, stalked her ex-lover on his route as a mail carrier. Schreiner, who was just fired from her job at the same post office her ex worked 2 weeks ago, allegedly parked her 2017 Nissan Rogue blocks away from the shooting. Shortly after starting his delivery, residents in the Longmont neighborhood called 911, saying their post office worker had been shot and killed. Surveillance video recorded the sound of 4 shots, followed by a clip of someone running from the scene in a dark hoodie and blue COVID mask. A similar hoodie, a blue mask, and Nissan Rogue were allegedly found to be with Devin Wednesday night, and GPS technology suggested she was in the area of the shooting in Longmont before returning home to this Fort Collins apartment.
Seems like pretty damning evidence.
Thursday morning, with a warrant in hand, police collected evidence in the home, combing through the trash, even questioning neighbors at times. The apartment appeared to be empty and dark, but belongings found outside suggested a kid lived there. And court documents obtained by CBS4 suggest that kid may be at the center of this entire ordeal. Court documents show that just a few years ago, the victim in this case filed for a restraining order against the suspect, and then just within the last month, the victim had asked for more custody of their child.
So, here we have it. I mean, pretty open and shut case. You know, I don't advocate taking a life. I mean, if someone's come breaking into your place and threatening you and your family with a gun, shoot them. 10 times out of 10. Better to be judged by 12 than carried by 6, that's what I said. And you don't have a duty to retreat in your own home. But that wasn't this. This was just cold-blooded murder because she was... It's unclear to me when this firing at the post office took place. But it probably happened because she shot somebody in the face.
In the end, both Andrew and Devin were convicted of first-degree murder and sentenced to life in prison without the possibility of parole.
The whole conviction of first-degree murder, life without parole. For what? For what? Just because the violence is trying to get custody and gain custody. Well, it's tough to be able to get custody violence. It's really tough to deal with it. It's tough to deal with, you know, things that upset your family. Real tough. And if this is the answer, just when your family is out, they're all in one. You know, they're all in justice. They're all tax-free. They're all in like clanging door therapy, you know, which isn't worth it, no matter what. So we'll see you next time you're criminally arrested. I'm personally working with this like when it comes to it. Especially because I'm sure that's a good thing. So make sure you subscribe. Follow us on Instagram, follow us on Facebook, follow us on Twitter, and so this actually was a suggestion from our Patreon page. So you're on Patreon, give us some feedback, and you have really. So go to chilloutfreeshooters.com for all of our merch, absolutely all of the criminal Now, here's the deal. I'm the criminal lawyer that reacts, right? Well, we filmed Brian Koberger's reaction last week, anticipating a fraud, but the history is that he's waiting for the deal tomorrow. So here's the deal. I'm doing a little intro to the next video because we're contemplating a trial we're extended. But before I want you to watch it because we'll give you an informed view as to why he decided that the walls were closing in on him you know, the judge denied his defense of alternative purposes. So he didn't really have much, if any, defense.
I carry few
Damn good
possessions.
police
I don't have
So watch this video, and it's a little bit long, so make sure you follow on. Because I know most of my fans are snooty white wine drinkers. And your popcorn, this so you don't have to go anywhere. And you know, pee beforehand, so you don't have to get up and interrupt you. But you know, and much has been made about this.
Indeed.
You know what? This is a free bargain. This is what happens in the criminal world. The fact that he's not getting the death penalty is not that big a deal, honestly, people. I mean, you know, saving these families the torment of a fucking trial. You know, I mean, having them to go through a trial and hear details of the injuries to their loved ones, seeing the autopsy photos, going through that whole scene, in my opinion, is they save themselves a little something. There's always this knee-jerk reaction to get an eye for an eye, right? But at least they have closure, it's guilty, it's mitigated. But when they do the plea, there's two things that they do. They do the waiver of your rights, and then they have to lay a factual basis. So he's going to have to admit that he killed all four of those people. So watch this video. This kind of highlights the evidence and then informs you why he took a deal. I was surprised that they offered him a deal, but it's worth it because you save the families. You've got finality, you know, with a plea that you don't necessarily have with the trial, because then you can appeal it, and you know, and if there's any irregularities, it's just all this uncertainty. This is certainty. And down the road, the families will be comforted knowing he's never going to see the light of the day. We don't want to get treated anyway. So watch this video, and as always, this is brought to you by AskALawyer.com. And you'll see something interesting about me and AskALawyer.com down the road. Okay? We'll see you next time here on Criminal Lawyer Reacts. Oh, we'll see you this time. We'll see you this time on Criminal Lawyer Reacts. Enjoy the video. Hi, this is Bruce Rivers. Welcome to another episode of Criminal Lawyer Reacts. I'm Bruce Rivers, your board-certified criminal defense lawyer, coming to you with my 24-year-old shark complex today. Because, you know, we get energy from things around us, and when I put out my shark complex, it's time to do business. We're going to react to Cobra today. That's the case where he murdered his people in a totally inexplicable fashion. Really, what I think is going to ultimately wind up being just an exercise in can I get away with it? That's what it sounds to me, but I'm not sure. But let's dive in. Before we do, we've got to AskALawyer.com. AskALawyer.com is been a loyal sponsor of our channel for a long time. It's associated with eForm and eSign. So if you need a lawyer, or if you have a legal question, you have a legal case you think you want to pursue, go to AskALawyer.com. For $49, you can get all the legal help you need from a living, breathing, heart-beating, God-fearing lawyer. You know, we have hearts too. Yeah, we're human beings. We're not just these orbs without feelings or hearts. Go to AskALawyer.com. If you have a landlord-tenant dispute, if you have any kind of contract dispute, if you have any kind of legal question whatsoever, go to AskALawyer.com. You can ask a live lawyer for $49. It's really valuable. And also, if you don't care, you go to AskALawyer.com, and they've got an AI component trained in all 50 states. So go to AskALawyer.com. It's good enough for my grandma. Alright, before we get to our reaction today, I don't know who's doing this, but somebody sent me all kinds of stuff, so they sent me this. Oh!
Winter prevails.
Take your money. Anyway, so somebody sent me that. Somebody sent me a St. Michael bracelet, which is very nice. And this candle, I mean, I don't know who sent it. There's no card, there's no nothing. Thank you. You know, it's tough when you hear some stuff about my contact sheets and this and that. But it's all really appreciated. just a ton of stuff that you guys have sent in. And makes me feel better. And you guys, just the way you guys show along, I really appreciate it. Okay, so let's, do you remember the Kohlberger thing? Maybe we should, this is going to be a little bit longer episode, so maybe take a second. Put me on pause. Go get a glass of wine. You can microwave popcorn now. And I'll give you 2 seconds to do that. Are you back? Okay. Now that you've got your wine and your popcorn, do you remember in this has been 3 years now. In 2022, November 13th, a mass Maine entered an off-campus zone near the University of Idaho, stabbing 4 college students. They all died from their wounds. And here's the thing. Even people that were left in the home saw the person who did this, supposedly, can't really identify, and took 8 hours to call the cops. That's a strange fact that we'll dive into a little bit later. So here's the affidavit. On November 13th, approximately 4 p.m., Moscow Police Department, Sergeant Blaker responded to 1122 King Road to assist with scene security and processing of crimes. 4 homicides, quadruple homicide. Really, you see double homicide, double quadruple homicide. Upon our arrival, the Idaho State Police team was on scene preparing to begin processing the scene. Officer Smith and I entered the residence through the bottom floor on the north side of the building. Officer Smith and I then walked upstairs to the 2nd floor. Smith directed me down the hallway to the west bedroom on the 2nd floor, where I later learned through seeing his driver's license and other personal belongings found in the room that Senior Kernodle's, here and after Kernodle, room. That was her room. Just before this room, there was a bedroom door on the south wall of the hallway. As I approached the room, I could see a body, later identified as Kernodle's, laying on the floor. Kernodle was deceased with wounds which appeared to have been caused by an entry. In other words, knife wounds. Also, in the room was a male, later identified as Ethan Chapin, who I can describe as Chapin. Chapin also killed with stab wounds. He then followed Smith upstairs to the 3rd floor residence. The 3rd floor consists of 2 bedrooms and 1 bathroom. The bedroom on the west side of the floor was later determined to be Kaylee Goncalves. Officer Smith pointed out a small bedroom on the east side of the 3rd floor. This bedroom shared a wall with Madison Mojins. As he entered the bedroom, he could see 2 females in a single bedroom. Both Kaylee and Madison were deceased with visible stab wounds. He also later noticed what appeared to be a tan leather knife sheath laying on the bed next to Madison's right side. That's going to be the most important piece of evidence in this case. Because without that, they don't really have a direct link to Kohlberger. The sheath was later processed and had KBAR USMC and the United States Marine Corps Eagle Glow and Anchor insignia stamped on the outside of it. The Idaho State single-door male profile with left cut. That clear match Brian Kohlberger. Now he's supposed to be a PhD in criminology. As part of the investigation, numerous interviews were conducted by Moscow Police Department. 2 leaders of the were inside the King residence at the time of the homicide. DF's bedroom was located on the east side of the floor of the King residence. Now, I know this is kind of tedious and we're kind of going through this, but this is important because this is the basis for the whole case. So stick with this, okay? Based on numerous interviews conducted by the officers, ISP detectives, and FBI agents, as well reviewed the evidence. So this is basically the affidavit of this whole case. On the evening of November 12th, Chapin and Kernodle are seen by BF at the Sigma Chi House in the University of Idaho at 7:35. On November 15th, BF estimated that approximately 1:45, Chapin and Kernodle returned to the King Road residence. BF also stated that Schaefer did not live at the King Road residence for his death. Non-pronounced and emotion at the bar, during a hospital at the bar, and at the bar, 202 Main Street in Moscow. They can be seen on video footage provided by Quarter Pump Bar. They were live on November 12th at 1:30 a.m. Remember, nothing good happens after midnight. At approximately 1:30 a.m., both can be seen on video at the local food vendor called Grub Truck. So once you get done drinking at the bar closed, guess we can go back get some food, right? I'm telling you, this is just an old playbook. The Grub Truck live stream video of their food truck on the streaming platform Twitch.
Oh, yep. So what you want to do is, we'll actually,
There's a second private party, whited out, reported that he provided a ride to both of them at approximately 1:56 a.m. from downtown Moscow in front of the Grub food truck to the King Road residence. DM and BF both made statements that indicated the occupants of the King Road residence were at home at 2 a.m. and asleep, or at least in their rooms by 4 a.m. 4 a.m. Fuck it. You know, this 4 a.m. shit has got to stop. You know, go to sleep around midnight. You know, stay up till 1 time. The nothing good happens at 4 o'clock. You know, you don't do that. This is with the exception of Canora, who received a DoorDash order at 4 a.m. Who the fuck has that much hunger at 4 a.m. except for a drunk, college kid? I need my sleep. Okay, I need my sleep. Even in my 20s, I never stayed out.
I will make you die.
Never went to an after party. Don't like after parties. Don't like staying until 4 o'clock. So don't ask me to stay until 4 o'clock. Okay, ladies? Okay. DM started. DM stated she originally went to sleep in her bedroom on the southeast side of the second floor. Keep all these little details in mind. DM stated that she was awakened at 4 a.m. by what sounded like a punch out. I don't know how to count it. Playing with the dog in the bedroom, which were located on the third floor. A short time later, DM said she heard who she thought was Kaylee say something to the effect of, "There's someone here." A review of the records obtained from forensic downloads of Kernodle's phone show this could have been Kernodle as her cellular phone. She was likely awake using TikTok at approximately 12 a.m. I got it. So, Leanne stated that she looked out of her bedroom window, but did not see anything. She heard the contact about someone being there. DM stated that she opened the door a second time and she heard what she thought was crying out of another room. DM said she heard a male voice say something to the effect, "It's okay, I'm going to help you." At 4:17 a.m., a security camera located at 1112 King Road, a residence immediately to the northwest of 1122 King Road, picked up a distorted audio of what sounded like voices or whisper, followed by a loud thud. The dog can be heard barking numerous times at 4:17. Guess what? That is the response made on that. The security camera is less than 50 feet away from the west wall. Mia stated that she opened the door, heard there was a third, she heard the sound of a figure, clad in black hair and a mask that covered the person's mouth and nose, walking toward her. Mia described the figure 5'10" or taller male, not very muscular, but athletically built with musty fabric and bushy eyebrows. The male walked past Mia as she stood in the frozen shop. The male walked towards the glass door. The DM locked herself in the room after seeing the man did not state that she got to the man. Investigators believe that the murder was locked. I noticed into a real case of this whole
No, you die!
So you've got people being murdered. You've got somebody stealing your foot. That happens a lot. I remember my grandma, she got put up against the wall when she was a teenager. And she said she couldn't fight it. She just was paralyzed with fear. That can happen. The combination of these things, use of forensic logic, weapons, EF strong. The video of a suspect video as a practice of these investigators doing a homicide occurred at 4 a.m. During the processing of the crime scene, investigators found a shooter. This was working during the second processing of the crime scene by ISP by first using a presumptive blood test and an amino acid black protein stating that detective presence of cellular material. The detective showed diamond-shaped pattern similar to the pattern of the band shoe. The original was all Cadillac, you know that? All those shoes, shoe prints. And based upon how the shoe has been worn, they're all new. And they found it just outside the door of PM Bedford. This system, statement is very sensitive. As part of the investigation, extensive search, commonly referred to in law enforcement as video cameras, was conducted in the area of Kingwood, Auckland, Oakland, and all the Alexa app, all that kind of stuff, really so much out there. This video camera was done with 18 footage on the early morning hours of November 15, 2022, in the area of Kingwood and surrounding neighborhoods in an effort to locate a suspect or suspects used traveling or leaving from Kingwood residence. This video camera resulted in a collection of numerous surveillance videos in the area from both residential and business addresses. I have viewed numerous videos that were collected and have had conversations with other FBI officers and FBI agents that are similarly reviewing footage that was obtained. A review of camera footage indicates that a white sedan, suspect vehicle number 1, was observed traveling westbound on the 700 block of Indian Hills Drive in Moscow. Now, why is that? Why? I mean, so what? So, like, sedan's not really so. Lucas, Idaho, first of all. Moscow, Idaho, first and second of all. Small. And how many cars are on the fucking road? Okay, so so now we have various parties here, right? We have Kaylee, Madison, and Zana, Bethany, and Dylan, right? And we have 4 people. Now this is a known party house. The residence was a known party house. Which grew to it being suburban, fraternity, whatever it was. And there was these places are high traffic areas, people coming and going all the time. I've been to Butterworth and it's too much like Animal House. But if you know anything about the group, it's loud, a lot of activity, people on the sleep. Why do they never have a sleep? Because they really sleep. How you like to make sleep? Don't keep up before they don't fucking like it. You should read it. Nothing good happens after fucking business. The board should have been locked. The board should have been locked. It shouldn't have been any fucking DoorDash or drop off or whatever the fuck else. Go to sleep. Get some good sleep. See you in the morning. Let's go get fucked out tomorrow. Guess what? What people not get to something. Alright, there was another complaint from 3 months before the girl in the video
Well, one thing I will tell you is we didn't do it. No worries. Thank you for calling me again today.
When you're outside, don't you have some fucking feelings instead of how you're being perceived by others? No, you don't. You know why? Because maybe you're fucking really funny. You don't give a shit how you're doing. You don't give a shit about the neighbor. Fuck them, you know? Oh, what are you doing? Yeah, improve yourself. So this is a noise complaint about 3 months old. So this gives me some flavor of where they live.
Let's take it to the back deck. How are you? Good. Perfect. How are you? Speaker right there?
Yeah.
Nothing against having a party. Once neighbors start calling in, then we have an issue.
Fair.
You in school?
Here's another creative pitch. In my years of the 70s. We have a party with you. Go get a party, man.
Okay, we're good. Okay. So I'll tell you the same thing I told them. You probably know the drill, right?
Actually, no.
Oh, okay. So usually I was thinking I'll give you a verbal warning.
Yeah.
Once I have neighbors calling in, it's too loud, you're disturbing the peace. Nothing against have parties, nothing against have people over who are over 18.
Me too. If I
Yeah.
You'll have 2 more tries.
300. Okay, pretty expensive because I don't want to give that to you. That means that it's your place, so I'll hold you responsible. Because it is your place, you're also responsible for everybody here.
One of the couple people over during the football game, after a football game, and I was at a hockey game. He said, sure, how many people? Oh, 12 people.